Welcome back, guys. So right now let's talk about design frames. So I'll go ahead to delete everything we've talked about. So all I have to do is to click on whatever I want to delete. So I could easily delete with my delete button. So don't go too far, just press your delete button on your keyboard to delete whatever you don't want. So I'll delete all the pages I feel like I don't want right now. So let me just come here to delete all my pages. So I'll delete them, I'll delete them, I'll delete them. So I'll start afresh right now since we've spoken about pages and layers. So right now I'll name this, the first thing I'll name this is design frames. So I want to talk about design frames right now. So I'll name this design frames. That's also you name your pages. So right now we don't have any layer right here because we don't have any elements on our Canva. So now let's talk about design frames, and we've talked about the move tool, we've talked about the hand tool, we've talked about the sketch tool. So right now we want to talk about frames. So these frames right here. So here in frames, this is what you're going to click to get your frames. So when you check the right panel of the screen, you get to see different frame size, which has different phone sizes and different iPhone sizes. So these are screen sizes for, basically I told you Figma is used to design mobile apps and websites. So this is how a website would look on a mobile phone. This is how an app would look on a mobile phone, and this is how a website would look on a mobile phone. That's what it basically means. As you could see, we have the iPhone SE. When you click on the iPhone SE, it gives you the screen size of an iPhone SE. So when you click on frame again, you get to see different screen size. As you can see, we have a lot of iPhones. Currently we are in iPhone 16, and when you use iPhone 16, you see the screen size of an iPhone 16. And when you come to your frame again, we're going to see other phone screen sizes. We have the Android. So you could see Android is not that much because we have different versions of Android. We have different products of Android with different screen sizes. So what Figma did is that Android is divided into Android Compact, which is the smaller size, and Android Medium, which is the regular Android size. So no matter what the Android phone is or Android device is, so we have the Android Compact, we have the Android Medium. So it's either you use the Android Compact, which is the regular portrait screen size, or you use the Android Medium. So that's what it basically means. So we have these two Android screen sizes. So don't bother about whatever size your Android phone is. Then we have different screen sizes for tablets. We have the Android screen sizes. As you could see, we have the Android screen size, which is expanded. So you could come to this and you have the Surface Pro 8, and we have the iPad mini. So we have the iPad mini right here, and we have different frame sizes, which is your screen size. So you could design a website for different device. So that's what literally means. And we have the iPad Pro 12.9. So we have different screen sizes right here. So having to leave the tablet, not just for phones, you could design for desktop as well. As you could see, we have different screen sizes for desktop. So we have for MacBook specifically, so MacBook right here. We have for other devices, we have for desktop, we have for wireframe. So let's see the one for wireframe. We have for TV. So you could see we have for TV right there. So there are different screen sizes right here for different design, for different devices. So we have the presentation. Figma is not just for designing mobile apps or websites. You could design presentation slides and all that. So we have different presentation slide size. This is 16.9 ratio. This is 16:9, which is the regular presentation size. And we have another frame size which says 4.3, which is the other frame size for presentation. So like I said, we are currently in the move tool, so you could move these screen sizes around if you want to. And if you want to move things around the Canva area, all you have to do is to come to your hand tool, then you go this way, then it moves the elements around the Canva area. So here we are, but basically let's go back to our move tool. So we've talked about different frame sizes and different screen sizes. So you could actually design apps for your watch as well. So we have different watch screen sizes, as you could see. Then we have for paper, so you could design any other thing like a document. You could design for an A4 paper. You could design a whole lot of things. Basically Figma is used for design, and you could go ahead to design different kind of things here on Figma, just the same way you use every other design software. So we have the social media design, you have the Twitter post, Twitter header, the Facebook post, everything about social media is right here. Basically you will need the one for LinkedIn and Dribble because you are a designer and you'll be needing LinkedIn and Dribble. we're going to do some optimization about that. So right now, these are different screen sizes. So you could design for Figma community and Figma archive. So right now, just leave all this for now. Leave the Figma community and this archive alone. But your screen sizes are right here. So when you want to start a design, the first thing you consider is the screen size. So all you need to know is that before you start designing your mobile app or your website, you need your frame. Your frame will give you your screen size. So you cannot just design the same website for desktop. You cannot design it for a mobile app. Basically, you need to set up the frame, and we have different screen sizes. So you could take the one for Android, you could take the one for an iPhone, and you see how to automate all this responsive design and layout. So right now, let's talk about design sessions. We've talked about the design frames, and right here, this is the design frame which we talked about taking a screen size. So you could take the one for Android or an iPhone. We've spoken about that. So right here, this is the camera. The screen size is looking smallish. So all we could do is to zoom. To zoom, you have to come here to zoom. So you could zoom to like 100%, and if 100% is too much, you could just zoom to fit. And right here, we're having the right screen size for an Android device. So right now, the next thing I want to show you in the toolbar is session. So when you click down the frame, we have session, we have slice. So let's talk about the session. So what session means is giving, just the same way we were talking about pages and all that. So session gives your design different sessions. For instance, you could have the home panel session separately, where there are different screen designs for the home session, you understand. So we could have different sessions. We're going to talk about it practically, just like your book. You know, in books we have chapters, we have organizations of title, sub chapters and all that. So that's what this session is all about. So session gives your, let's say it's just like the chapter in your book, it gives your design different sessions. So right now you could just draw your session right here. So your session is right there, and what this session will be, you could just name this session, you could just give it a name, and this is a session right here. So this is a separate session where different screen sizes could come in. So you could just see the session right here, you could increase it right here, and you could just say this should be like, this one to be like a 50% here. So this is a 50% zoom level. So I'm going to just do something like this, and we have different session, and this is a session 1. So this session 1, now we have it in the layers. So what you want to do now is, you could see, you could rename the session, you could rename it to like the onboarding experience. Yeah, so this could be the onboarding experience. So you could give it an onboarding experience session, and right here you have the device screen right here. So you could rename this, you could rename everything you're seeing right now. So all you have to do is to come here and try to click this, and you see rename. So you could rename it to like the home screen. Yes, or okay, you could rename it to like a splash screen. So you could rename this to like a splash screen, and as you could see, it's carrying the name of a splash screen, and the session is onboarding experience. So you're going to have different sessions like that. That's what session is basically used for. So you could have this duplicated. I use the Ctrl D to duplicate it, or you could right click and you could look for how to copy this and see how to reuse it. So what I did was to use Ctrl D to duplicate it, and if you want to duplicate, you click on this, and when you click on this, you're going to see how to copy this, and you're going to, so you could see, you could copy and paste, but the shortcut I used for this is Ctrl D. So I could click on this and say Ctrl D, and it's going to duplicate that for me. So you rename the duplication, we just rename it throughout, and after we have this splash screen, let's say we're going to have the screen 1, yes, so this will be the screen 1. So basically this will be the screen 1. You could just bring it back like this, and screen 1 would come this way. Then we're going to have screen 2. So you're going to have screen 2 right now. So you could rename this, you could say screen 2. So we could go ahead to divide this into sessions. So we have the screen, we have the splash screen, and we have the screen 1 for the onboarding experience, and we have the screen 2 for the onboarding experience. So you could go ahead to resize the session if you want to. Then we could go ahead to create another session. So we could just create another session right now. So this will be session 2. So let's say we've created the first session, and this will be our second session. So in the second session, you could say the second session is the home panel. So you could rename this and say this is the home panel. So you could say home panel. We're going to see the application when we are trying to design a mobile app for a website. So you're going to name this an home panel. So this section will be home panel, and this one will be the onboarding experience, and you could layer it side by side. So what I'm going to do now is to try to layer it side by side. So the home panel comes beside the onboarding experience, and this is just for you to be able to prototype your design very quickly and very fast when you divide your design into sessions. So we could see that designs could be divided into sessions, and here we are. So we have the splash screen, we have the screen sizes which we found in the frame, then we have the session which we found in the frame as well, but it has to be a sub tool in the frame. They are all used to create your design layout, and that is what the frame and session has done for us. So the next tool is the slice tool. I would not say this tool is useless, it could be useful for you, but let me tell you what it does. So slice tool is just like you cropping out something. So if you want to crop out a section out of your design, you use the slice tool. So let's use the slice tool for something. So let me try to write something on it. So I could say a, okay, let me just say an a will be here, okay, and let me say a b will be here. So let me do that, and let me zoom this to fit, or let me zoom it to like an 100%. So I'm going to zoom to like an 100% so I could work on this. So here's the a I inputted. So let me just make this a bigger. So I could just click on this a, and with the intention of making it bigger. So all I have to do is to resize this. So I could just simply resize it right now. So let me just resize it. So I'm going to resize from here. So let's say the a will be 128, and let's say the b as well will be 128. So let me just resize them, and right now I want to just slice the a and b. So I'll use the slice to do that. So let me use the slice tool to do that. So coming here, I'm just going to take the slice tool, then I'm going to slice this. I'm going to slice this too. So let's say I'm slicing this too right now, and having to slice it, all I have to do is to try to export what I just sliced, which is like a crop button. So I'm going to just try to export it, and right now this is me trying to export it right now. So I could just reduce this to like an 0.5. So let's export the slice and let's see what that will be. So I just exported the slice, and here it is. You could see it exported the slice from here, and why this is not exporting is because it's on a different frame. So this currently it exported this particular slice on this frame, so it did not expand to this frame. If you want to also slice from this frame, so you could go ahead to slice this frame. You could have something to use it for, but we're going to see the use cases later in the course. So let's say I slice this place, and having to slice this place, I want to export it. I'll click on export, and it exports the b alone. All you have to do is to export this, and that way it's going to export this second slice, and that way we have that exported to our device. So that's what slice is used for. It's just used to like crop out a part of your design that you want to crop out. So that's basically what slice is used for. I hope to see you in the next lesson where we get to talk more about this Figma layout and interface. I hope to see you in the next lesson. See you there.